on the air. You're watching the next generation of news. 23 News at 6 starts now.
Good evening and welcome to 23 News at 6. I'm Mike Garrigan. Whitney Martin has tonight off. Up to 8 schools are on a list to close in the Rockford School District. In less than an hour, board members will meet to vote on it. 23 News reporter Jessica Gerasi will break down what it means for parents coming up. But first, here are tonight's headlines. A motorcyclist is dead after a head-on crash near Rockton. It happened on Highway 75 near Rockton Avenue around 3 this afternoon. The roads are still closed while crews investigate. The Winnebago County Sheriff's Department says a motorcyclist crossed over the center line and smashed into a car. He was thrown from his bike and was not wearing a helmet. Highway 75 is expected to reopen within the hour, but they're urging all drivers to avoid the area if at all possible. Bands will play once again at Whiskey's Roadhouse on North Main Street. Aldermen gave the bar the permit they needed to have live music. Whiskey's owner had to stop the live shows last month after she was told she didn't have the right license. The next show is already booked for this Saturday. And in Dixon, city council members are expected to decide next week if they will hire a consultant to look over the city's finances. The review could cost up to $35,000. The firm would look at financial controls put in place since the city's former comptroller was arrested 2 years ago for stealing more than $50 million. Rita Crenwell is currently serving nearly 20 years in prison for the crime. The future of 8 schools in the Rockford Public School District should be decided tonight. 23 News reporter Jessica Gerasi tells us how the option before the board could impact where hundreds of local students go for classes.
Kishwaukee School is one of 8 buildings on the closing list. If the board approves the plan tonight, this building will either be sold or demolished. A new school would replace it in this section of town, and students from both Kishwaukee and Walker School would go there. Walker is one of the 7 other buildings that would also shut down. Another new elementary school would be built to replace White Swan School and Cherry Valley. This plan was put together by the Facilities Task Force, which spent 10 months gathering research and community input. It's all part of the District 205's overall goal to improve all schools in 10 years. No schools will close this year, and the school district has not said when the first buildings would shut down. But the administration has said that they want every student in either a new or a renovated building by 2018. Reporting in Rockford, Jessica Gerasi, 23 News.
Thank you, Jess. And voters will be asked to approve a referendum for the building of those 2 new schools. That will be on the ballot this November. We have put the updated plan for you to look at on our web channel at WIFR.com. Winter is just around the corner, and some state line communities are scrambling to find money to buy road salt. How they plan to pay for it is coming up. But first, the sun is starting to peek through the clouds. Mark Henderson says there's plenty more of that ahead. He's in now in the 23 Storm Team Weather Lab.
Yeah, about time we finally started to see that sunshine. A little bit more cloudiness today than originally expected. That held our temperatures in check. Had a bit of an autumn-like feel to the day for a while. That, though, has given way to at least some partial sunshine. Still holding on with a fair amount of cloudiness here, Rockford and points eastward. You head to the west, though, it's a much different story, a much more comfortable story for seeing. Wider view right now for us does show the showers and thunderstorms that we had seen yesterday, moving on off to the east. Lots of cloud cover over Michigan, northwest Indiana, and toward the Chicago area, but we do see some substantial clearing working in here very slowly as our low pressure system continues to slowly move eastward. To the west, nothing doing, which means for us some very, very nice times ahead. This evening, our clouds will quickly move out. As a result, though, we expect our temperatures to rather quickly cool. How cool are we talking tonight? And are we talking about some heat to look forward to longer range? Forecasts coming up.
Thank you, Mark. Some local governments say keeping our roads safe this winter may mean we'll have to live with bumpier roads next summer. 23 News reporter George Rodas tells us why.
The road I'm standing in is called Greystone, and as you can see, it needs a lot of work. The road is cracking. There are potholes all around, and the city of Roscoe says it needs to be completely repaired. But those repairs won't take place now because salt prices were so high. The village of Roscoe says the higher price of road salt means their budget for road projects is taking a hit. The brutal winter caused road salt prices to skyrocket to nearly double where they were last year. But now that Roscoe has to pay hundreds of thousands more for salt, Instead of 6 or 7 road projects resurfacing or completely repairing roads next year, there will only be 2.
Plowing your streets, maintaining the streets, there's drainage issues, dealing with those. So those are all areas that are going to be affected.
While this salt issue began with a shortage in salt after a rough, brutal winter, Roscoe Village leaders say one thing they don't have a shortage of is roads that need help. It'll be harder to fix them without finding new revenue to do so. In Roscoe, George Rodas, 23 News.
Thanks, George. Real tough problem. And we did reach out to other state line communities to see if their salt issues were taken care of. Belvedere says they have the salt they need and no other projects will be affected. Also, McChesney Park, which was left off the state list, has recovered, securing salt for the winter with no other projects being affected. Rockford is the second cheapest city in the country to buy a home, while Illinois is the third cheapest state in the nation to drive a car. Here's tonight's Money Watch. A new report from the National Association of Realtors shows the median price for existing homes increased to $212,000 in the second quarter. That's up $10,000 from this time last year. But Rockford's median home price is only about $85,000. Of the top 173 metropolitan areas in the country, only Youngstown, Ohio's median price is lower. On the other end of the spectrum is San Jose, California, which leads the country with a median home price of just a shade under $900,000. Meantime, Illinois ranks as the third least expensive state to operate a car. The Bankrate.com survey factored in the annual cost of gas, insurance, repairs, and amount of driving by residents. It costs Illinoisans just under $2,000 per year to operate a car. Only Iowa and Ohio are cheaper. On the other end of the spectrum is Wyoming, the most expensive state, followed by Louisiana, Florida, and Mississippi. And after rising just a little on Monday, the Dow drops even less today, giving back just under 10 points in light trading. We'll have the local numbers later in the newscast. A local hero returns home from serving overseas. Tonight at 10, we'll hear from him about what it was like to return to a surprise celebration. Plus, a toy and bookstore with deep roots in the state line is going out of business. Again, these stories and more tonight on 23 News Update at 10. Supporters of the St. Louis teenager shot and killed by police are demanding for the officer's name to be released. Next on 23 News, why the department won't do it.